All right, everybody. Thank you all for coming back. Today's going to be a special episode while Sasha is actually out. What are people walking by? While Sasha is actually out today doing whatever Australians do, cooking shrimp on the barbie or drinking Foster's beer. Nobody really knows. But Sasha's out doing whatever he's doing today. So you just got me and Brooks today. But we got a returning fan favorite. We're talking about the madman, the myth, the legend. Brooks is in the house. Man, it has been forever since you've been here. How are you, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I know where I'm at. Where are you at when you say been here? Where are you? What state are you in these days?
I'm down in California right now.
Take me. I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go. Yeah, man, I'm doing good. I'm in Atlanta right now, and just got done with work and was out on the middle of my walk. I was running just a tab up behind, so excuse the background and my homies. I'll catch up with y'all. My dude's behind me. So, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? So you leave Vegas, you got some new friends to hang out with? Is that what that is going on? Who is that? Let me see who that
Yeah,
is.
they're all seven. Hey. No, man, he's dipping. He's got some girls he's talking to. So what's up with this full throttle thing that I see like maps and stuff? Like y'all are doing something, and then are people coming? And I'm trying to get a ride and all this stuff, and I don't know who to talk to about getting a ride. And
Well, there's a
what's
few. Let's
going
go back
on,
to
man?
you. Let's go back to you, though. I mean, you're still in Atlanta.
Oh,
I mean, you're
I'm in
still in
Atlanta.
Atlanta, and
Gang banging.
so, yeah, you haven't left that area up there still. But there's been some transitioning in what you're doing, though, right?
Yeah, man. I am selling stuff now, and as opposed to being in the field every day, and mainly inside, and just doing what I do, and I'll probably be out of this area sometime soon. Just not sure whether I'm going back to Dallas or maybe some other place, but yeah, man, and looking forward to teaching and some more. I'm going to be in Vegas teaching, and anybody out there that wants to host any teaching, I'll be more than happy to travel to you. But right now, for the next at least maybe to the end of the year or so, I'll be here in Atlanta.
Yeah. So going back to what you were saying about Full Throttle, though, you are going to be an instructor coming up here. I mean, of course, you've been an instructor with Fence University for what, a half a decade now, doing stuff with us. So we're grateful to everything that you taught us, and it probably taught everybody else that came to the classes. But are you excited to be back at Fence University doing some stuff?
Yeah, I am. I think you invited me last year, and Coyote and I were as usual, just like the class that we taught in California. Without him, it would have been a lot rougher. So having somebody else there that's excited, and somebody else there that knows the equipment and stuff, that was nice. So last year I did it, and didn't put 1,000% into it like I've done before. So I'm excited to come back and see all of those faces again, and help gate technicians create an environment where they can make a lot of money for very, very low paying, and hopefully teach some fence guys to either get into the gate business or not to get into the gate business. The big complaint about fence guys, rather, getting into the gate business is, I just don't want phone calls on Friday night. So there's an answer for that as well too, and I'm super excited. So yeah, I'm pumped, and I'm glad to be on this tour.
Yeah. So you said, though, you're doing inside sales, so you're not actually out in the field doing installations anymore?
Not as a full-time thing. I'm still doing consulting, and I only do like one gig every couple of years. So a couple of last month I was out in Manassas, Virginia, talking to a gate company about their fulfillment side of their business, and the operations of it. So yeah, not day to day. I mean, that whole week I was out day to day, put in some Viking G5 and AI phone stuff and a couple other things that we worked on. But yeah, no, not day to day, inside, shining a seat with my ass, type thing. So looking at chairs like, oh man, that chair will be comfortable, as opposed to looking at carts going, oh, that cart will help me out. Like, oh yeah, I could see that desk being in front of my monitor. Oh yeah, that type of stuff. You've been doing it. You've been doing it so well for the last few years. I'm sure you're used to that.
No, I mean, it's good to get out in the field every once in a while, but once a tech, always a tech, man. It's in your blood, right? You almost crave and enjoy troubleshooting and helping people when they have issues, and just even over the phone and things like that. But once a tech, always a tech. I mean, you've always got the tools and stuff and parts and stuff in your truck. What, right now, how many, even though you're an inside sales, you're going to get fat and lazy just sitting inside, and your hands are going to get soft. What right now, how many remotes do you think you got in your truck right now that you have no idea what they're for?
Oh man, I was sitting there trying to think about who to give away because I've got some specific stuff that's geographical, specifically for Dallas Fort Worth region, and I was like, oh man, I could give this away, and then I could probably sell this. No, this one's still got my old logo on it. Do I want to keep it? Do I not want to keep it? Man, it's just like anything else. For people like me, that's what I love and that's what I'm interested in. So I just put it in a box and just keep it. But no, none right now. Surprisingly enough, none right now. I don't drive by a gate and go, oh, I could break into that. Or oh, I've got the remote. I'll just put it back to the factory switch settings and see if I can get in there. So none. So if anybody wants to get into a gate in Dallas, I can help them out. But that's about it these days.
I think you're out there on your walk. We're not getting the best connection. We're losing you a little bit, man. Hold your phone up a little higher, or point it towards one of the satellites or something. There you go.
Sorry about that, man. Sorry about that. So yeah. Anyway, no remotes in the truck. I've got all those stored away for any of the gates or for training. Actually, that's what I was doing, was building the kits out for training.
Yeah. One thing you and I have always been passionate about since we met was the education and why it matters, and who we're educating matters, right? I mean, that's a big deal, especially for you and I, and we must have had 1,000 conversations and not just conversations, everybody, but arguments as well about things. But one thing that you and I agree on is educating people in our industry. We can't complain people aren't doing it right. And we can't drive around and say that's not done right. These guys shouldn't be doing it. These people shouldn't be doing it, and then not have anything available to train them. So I love that passion. But that's for me. Why do you think education, is so important to the industry?
Well, I've just recently shared this in the last couple of years, but why I got into training and started my own school, the Access Control Expert School, about 12 years ago, training my competitors, training them for free, not asking for sponsorship money, always having a trade association involved, all of those types of things. I did that 12 years ago because this doesn't take a lot in order to be great at this business. You just have to be good. So in order to be good, 50% of that's just showing up. And the other 50% is just following what the manual says. And if you do those things, and you could do those things and not get drunk on the job or anything, or wreck the truck or anything like that, or put unleaded in a diesel or diesel unleaded, you have the opportunity. Oops.
I feel that. I feel like that was throwing little daggers at me on that one.
That's a little jab. And as soon as I walked onto your property last October, I guess it was, I was like, you got to be kidding me. But when I saw those unleaded fuel only on the side of your truck, and you're like, nope. So anyways, if you could just do those basic stuff, just have pig-headed discipline. You don't have to be smart in order to make $70,000 or $80,000 a year. You just have to follow the list, and that's all it is. And then the second thing, obviously, the more money that you make, the less money that you can rely on the government. And I think that it's important. And it's one of the things that, the last few years have been tough because I've just put so much the effort into education. But prior to that, in my own business, I only had to borrow money and one time in an emergency. I didn't have to get up and do foolish things with gate operators or do stuff to the lowest dollar because I just didn't have any debt. And I think that is personal. Those are the two personal reasons why I got into it. And then I loved it. So that was the third reason. Yeah, those were the main two reasons.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've always kind of agreed on certain things. I mean, there's so much money to be made in this industry, fencing, gate operators, access controls, that it's amazing. So if you get up every day and put the time in, and you're not afraid to actually learn and things like that, you're gonna succeed in it. But you know what I found out, and after obviously we've talked to a lot of people, you and I, smaller companies and even people outside of our industry that want to learn gate operators and access controls. But what I've been finding out is it's one thing to teach them how to open up a box, bolt it down, hook up the photo eyes, which is what we train them how to do really well. I think what was unique about what you always did was you kind of taught them some of the programming and the troubleshooting as well. You always throw that in there, right? No matter what. I mean, a lot of your instructions while you're doing it, like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to hook this radio receiver up, but I'm going to show you how to hook it up so that the wires don't just slide out. you know what I mean, when you know, when the wind blows through or something, or you can kind of tug, and those little techniques. But why do you think that most installers struggle though with programming and troubleshooting?
No foundation. The foundation, the training is, here's a board, here's a motor, here's a list of work orders. Just call me at 5 and tell me how much you got done. And when you're intimidated, like I've been put in a lot of new scenarios over the last year, when you're intimidated, you don't perform at your best. You don't want to ask questions at 51 years old. You don't want to ask questions. You don't want to go, hey, how do you do this? When you know it's just something simple. And I think there's a big intimidation factor that makes it easier to go, you know what, we'll be back on Monday to check this out. Or this is what we have in the truck, or this is what my boss told me to do. I got to do this. So I think that's a big reason why people struggle. There is the factor of not having the tools, and there is not and not having the discipline to follow the list and all that stuff. But I think the biggest problem is that we just don't have the foundation just to do the basic things, and it gets really intimidating to go, do I take off a motor? Do I test voltage here? Do I tell the customer that he can't park here? Yeah, you do all of that crap. When you're out there, your safety is the most important thing, and you need to tell customers what to do. You need to tell, hey, this is not, or you don't need to stand here. You don't need to put your hands here. You need to be behind the cones. And that intimidation factor can kind of really kill it for people, and not want to go down the path of either figuring it out or taking care of the customer.
Yeah, and you know what I think, why I think people should obviously go full throttle this year. And even if you have an installer, your company that's installed 10, 15 gate operators for you, they may not know some of those techniques and some of that troubleshooting, or may not know the proper way to hook up a photo wire and things like this. And I think that as these operators, they become more and more convenient, and they have. Like when you started and I started installing gate operators, we didn't have as much plug and play. It was a circuit board. Everything had to be wired in. There wasn't a lot of just plug and play, and everything just kind of worked. Photo eye just snapped in, and everything, you know, was a sealed board and all that stuff. We remember taking the boards out, looking at the back, and I know you, like me, you look for burn marks, right? And you would have to abandon that relay and work from another relay, or, you know, troubleshoot different ways like that. So we were able to maybe understand how the gate operator worked more, I think, you know, because that's how we had to hook all the devices up, and we didn't have as much plug and play. So while it's convenient, I think that if you're really going to have a tech that's out there working for you as a fence company, they need to run through a couple of courses. They need to run through this, some of our full throttle and quick start classes, and then you get into some more of the advanced troubleshooting ones with someone like yourself. Otherwise, they're going to come up with a service call or out on an operator that they can't fix, and they can't understand, or they're going to fry something, or they're not going to quite understand how to go on a board and locate the 3 different spots that'll open the gate, you know, by crossing wires and things. So I don't know what you think. I mean, do you think that that now more and more people are getting into it, but it is more of a plug and play situation?
Well, I think it's actually I think there's some of that. I think when we think about the plug and play, and not to put words in your mouth, it's we have something to tell us why this is not working, or we have some way to actually document or look at over an app, like why this didn't work. But, you know, back in the day, 20 years ago, it was unplug everything and see if the gate runs. And then just start plugging in things one at a time. And now with the, thank God, it's been one of the things that have actually lowered the number of lawsuits and therefore accidents. The inclusion of safety devices with gate operators. Photo eyes, just, the way Automatic does with 2 photo eyes is the way that I like to see it done. Photo eyes are the easiest things to run, but I think that it's also made it a little bit more complicated, because we haven't had that 20 or 30-year history of the right nomenclature. Now people have monitor open, monitor close, and we have different ways of doing that. Some devices is 2-wire install, some are 3, some are 4. So I do see your point to an extent, but there also is a little bit more complicated. And I've said this for a long time. Not only is the biggest opportunity in access control, and that's turning over to IT, our gate operators, we're going to need to understand basic IP addresses and understanding, what 192.168.1. Whatever is, and understanding how that plays in dynamic addressing and all that stuff. So I agree with you to a certain extent, but I think we're also getting more complicated with all those additional devices and knowledge that we have to have.
Yeah. Or we just go old school. I mean, let's face it. How many problems do you think can be solved by turning it off and turning it back on?
Oh, it's a small percentage, but enough of the percentage to where you can not waste any more time just by doing that. And that is something documented, and doing is sometimes just the right thing to do. If it's right around the corner, if the gate operates safe after you turn it on and off, sometimes you don't need to know why something happened. Sometimes just turning it on and off and figuring out how to get it back in service safely, sometimes that's what you had to do.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second, though, because I know, I've been out on service calls when I was doing tech support, stuff like that. And that you're in a rush. You're going from jobs to jobs to jobs or something. And something definitely was causing this thing to hold open. And you could go in there and probably spend the 30 minutes it's going to take to diagnose it. And if you're like me, I want them to leave it as it is. If whatever state it's in right now when they call, I don't want them touching it. Don't turn it off. Don't power it off. Don't touch it. Don't do anything. I want to see what error codes are on there. You want to see what LED lights lit up. Anything you can see before you try to figure out what's wrong. And I'm pretty sure you're the same, right?
Yes, that is correct. We do have the advantage of transactions in some gate operators. For instance, LiftMaster has 20 transactions, Automatic has 4,000 transactions, and so on. So high security's got transactions. So we have that advantage, but sometimes there are things that we see that aren't recorded in transactions. Sometimes there is something mechanical that is causing the failure, wires touching together or something like that, and you going in there, taking off the cover and moving stuff around just to unplug it and turn it back on does us no good, because you've now changed what the fault is, and I've got to sit out there and recreate it to do some due diligence, and there's $300 out the window.
And you may not be able to reproduce it. I mean, you go out there and it's operating, and you just like going, well, I could I could test the relay. I could, maybe it's a limit switch, something, right? But I mean, other than that, it's really not, once it solved itself, you're kind of stuck, and they just got charged for a service call, and they didn't get the full benefit of the service call. So yeah, I agree on, we're kind of the same on that. Hey, what's an installer phrase? You've worked with a lot of installers, not just new people coming up, but I know you get phone calls. I know you go to fence companies where they've got installers. What's one phrase that you hear from them that immediately scares you?
I don't have a multimeter. Oh yeah, no, my boss doesn't give us a laptop, or if you're doing access control, that is, not for gate operators. But we don't have multimeter, and we just have 1 megometer for the company, or we don't have a time domain reflectometer. Those are the things that scare me, because it hurts the technician and drives good technicians out.
Yeah. And I, one of the things that gets me is when I'm doing a tech support call or anything like that, or even one of those guys, I'm like, you're on the phone and you're like, hey, tell me the voltage. What's the voltage of that? And they're like 12 volts. And I'm like, get your meter. What's the volt? Oh, it's 12 volts. I'm like, does the package say 12 volts? Is that why you're saying 12 volts? Because the odds of you having the only battery in existence that's exactly 12 volts that's been sitting in this operator is pretty low, right? So that kind of stuff was always, when someone tells you it's exactly 16 volts or 24 volts or something, what are you getting out of your solar panel? 12 volts.
Exactly.
What's the odds? Right?
Well, or when they go, or when a solar panel is a perfect example, when I say, hey, what's your open voltage? And they go 18.43. And I'm just like, oh, so you already tested it? Well, I tested it yesterday. So I said, well, how do you know it's 18.43 now? Well, that's what it says on the back of the panel. Oh, okay. Well, so yeah, you're absolutely right. And I put my phone number out everywhere because I want people who don't have these answers to call me. So I still deal with these phone calls all day. And I spent 15 minutes with somebody last week. He called me again today trying to figure out a maglock. And I spent 15 minutes with him, and he was telling me stuff that he did before he left the job site. He was in his truck on the way home. And I was like, so what's the voltage of the power supply? He's like 12 it's 12.43. Enough to where I had confidence that he was testing it right then, and he wasn't even on the job site. So yeah, those types of things scare me. Oh, did I lose you? Oh crap. Did I lose you, Brian?
We lost Brian.
Oh, we lost Brian. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
y'all.
hey. So anyways, if you don't have a good multimeter on your truck, you need to have one. And we'll wait for Brian to come back on. But here's one of the things I always say about education that you guys have to remember. A lot of the classes that we do day to day don't have pre-qualifiers. So when you're taking one of our classes, you're taking a class with somebody that's done it for 20 years, and you're taking a class with somebody that's done it for 20 years, and somebody that's only done it for 2 minutes or have never done it. So when you're taking an education class, like Brian was saying, what's some of the stuff that scares you? We're going to teach you to a certain level, but some people know more, some people know less, but it's your responsibility as a student to be on the lookout for that one golden nugget. So education is an active process. Whether you think you know it or not, you're on the hunt at these classes for one golden nugget. We got you back, Brian?
Yep. I know. I don't know what that was. That's so weird. I'm stable too. It can be, but well, not mentally stable, but everything else. But yeah. Sorry about that, everybody. That was probably you got a break from me. Looks like you got Susan for a second there, right?
Yeah. I thought I might have lost you. Anyways, I was just on one of my tangents, but anyways, while you were gone, I was just saying, just on the break, we were just talking about classes. Like, it's a student's responsibility to find that one golden nugget. And for a $500 class that has no prerequisites, you have a responsibility to find that golden nugget. And I can't tell you what it is. If I could tell you what it is, I would just sell it to you for $500 and just stay home. So everybody's responsible for the active process when they come to these classes.
I call it a golden wire net, but you can call it a golden nugget if you want. But
golden wire net, there you go. Okay, all right. If you want to see that, go for it. But besides, we don't use nobody uses wire nuts anymore.
But, we were talking about the guys. You know what I love about what we're doing is we're educating fence companies and and even some smaller gate companies and getting them to do the gate operators. Because I remember, did I ever tell you the story about what got me to install my first gate operator?
I don't think so.
It's because, I mean, if you ever noticed how some guys, especially if you're not in the industry or something, some guys, they wire these gates like they're building a bomb, right? And it's like you open it up and it's like they're preparing for the bomb squad to come out and not be able to figure out what to do once they get in there. It's just a bundle of wires in there, right? And you do a pretty clean job when you wire them up, but not everybody does that, right?
Try to.
But only because those little details, mean something to you when you're walking away. But I had a guy that worked for me, and this must have been in the 90s and 80s, 90s, somewhere. It must be 90s. And I would pay him to come install operators for me. And I just had a fence company, and I was just doing my fence company, and I'd pay him to go out there. And whenever I went out there, man, it was just this. It was. Do you remember the old SL3000s that had that plastic little screen right in front of it display? Yeah, good units. But anyway, so you couldn't even, he put so much wire in there and you couldn't even see the circuit board. That's how much. And it was almost like a bubble of sticking out of it almost. It was pushing out on it. So then I would have to call him for everything because, I mean, I didn't know any of those things. I didn't know what that was. It looked like it was just like I said. It was like he was wiring something up in there. Had no idea what it was. Different color wires, everything. So one time there was a problem at one of the apartment complexes where we put the gate on, and I got a call from the property manager, and I'm like, you got to open this gate. You got to do something. You know how it was back then. There wasn't as much on the battery backup. Battery backup was an actual, like a battery with an inverter that would open the gate once and hold it open. Remember? So it wasn't like we have now where they're running on the batteries. So the gate was stuck closed. So I go, man, I'll see what I can do. So I went out there and I opened it up, and man, I see that plastic sheet right in front of it, that clear plastic. I loosened the screws up. I slid that up. I pulled it over, and these wires, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to try to fish through and see if any lights are on, see if I can hit a button or, you know what I mean? Something like that. I had no idea. So I start pulling on wires, and this one's loose. I pull this wire, and a bundle of wires come out. Nothing's hooked up. These wires that are just sitting in here aren't actually hooked up to anything. The guy just had all these different wires jumped up and shoved in there. I pull all these over there, and then, once I got in there, all it was a photo I hooked up, and the power coming in. So back then it was simple, right? We didn't even have all the different opening and close devices and things, right? And then I think I powered it down like that old days, powered it back up, or I flipped on. I don't even remember what I did to get it open. And then that's when I found out the guy was just doing that so I wouldn't learn how to install gate operators. So then I ordered the next one up, looked in the manual, and that's how I learned how to do it.
Yeah. That's just the way they used to be. Sometimes some people did it on purpose. Sometimes people don't. That was just always fun when you go to HOA manager and they've got the board of directors and all that stuff out there. And they're like, hey, we've had 5 gate companies, can't figure it out. And you just go in there and start cutting wires. That's one of the funnest thing ever. You just see them go, oh. But yeah, that's the way it just used to be, man. People thought that that's the way that you built the moat around it. And I learned a long time ago that that's why I was training my competitors for free and having free classes and paying for it. I wasn't having free classes. I was paying to train my competitors. I paid for the food. I paid for the drinks and all that stuff. But yeah, that's people think that that's how you build the moat. You don't. You build the moat by building educated people out there, because there's enough business for everybody. From California up to New York, there's enough business for all of us.
Yeah, I was just at an alarm association meeting that they had, and then I was at a locksmith one. I go to a lot of these other associations, especially as a smaller association, growing as fast as we are. It's good to go see what it's like at the other associations and stuff, right? So I go there, and they're all struggling with the same thing. I mean, it's the associations are getting a little older, and some of these ones that are like that, and they feels like they're stalling out, but they're not. It's just the young people aren't coming in. And they're all saying the same thing. We can't find techs. We can't find techs. And of course, you know how I feel. Well, we're chasing them off, right? So, but nonetheless,
that's right. That's exactly what it is.
It's not that they're not out there. It's just we're not. We now you're seeing it more. Now there's more of a push for education for everybody. But even when you and I first got together, it wasn't out there. I mean, it was. Let's face it. Unless you were an established company and had all the money to fly and spend a week and spend $10,000 per employee, you weren't getting educated. So. It's a big deal. So I love seeing that what we've done. You know what I mean? What we've kind of set out there with Fence University and you involved in everything.
Well, good. I'm glad to be a part of it in any way that I can, and help gate technicians be safer around gates and have their customers safer around gates, and make sure that you guys don't go home, like this. It's not a badge of honor to come home missing your finger, or to have your finger caught in a gate operator. And you've taken my class before. Brian, you've sat in the beginning of them, and you see exactly what I show at the beginning of every class. It's not something that I look proudly on when I get my finger caught in a gear. So I want you guys to go home, and gals, we need more women out here. We need to bring some common sense out to these gate operator jobs. But yeah, I want you guys to go home safely, and I want you guys to go home and make a lot of money. There's plenty of money out here for all of us. And the moat around the business, just so everybody is aware, is physical labor. That's our moat around the business. It's not stomping on your competitor's neck. You want an unfair advantage, but this education part of it, this is how you get your gate technicians out there profitable. And that's the moat. It's just making money, because there's plenty of business out there for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, if let's face it, if you took a couple of your crews and you sent them to Vegas, get that full throttle gate operator experience, and then take the rest of the courses for the rest of the week, you already have the unfair advantage over everybody else, because you're going to have something that the average fence company doesn't have, and that's people that understand gate operators a little bit better than the average person that's just opened up a gate operator box. So yeah, there's no doubt. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second. The education, the full throttle. This is our biggest education series we've ever done. I mean, it's now we've got anybody that doesn't know Veronica, she's handling the education side. It's not just me and Susan, which we're normally doing the expo and the education, and then Brooks, you were helping, on some of the gate operator stuff, but we were running a lot of it, with the staff that we had and stuff. But now we've got a person dedicated to these shows now that's just literally writing the courseware and working with the instructors and getting the content out there, making sure these classes and the certificates and everything are exactly what people should be getting out of it. But you are going to be there, like always, and we appreciate that. Let's talk about some of the education segments you're going to be doing. You're going to be there, obviously assisting in the first 2 days on most of it. But what are those 2 segments? Do you know what they are off the top of your head?
Veronica did send those to me with the caveat of Brian is going to be handling a lot of the gate operator stuff. So I just browsed through it. But I would imagine it's going to be the stuff that I'm good at, which is complaining about distributors, complaining about manufacturers, complaining about trade associations, and how I do everything right and everybody else does everything wrong. But what I'm looking forward to doing is just showing you just in the first 10, 15 minutes of a job setup, how to set up your cart, how to put
Yeah.
out cones, how to use the box that the gate operator comes in for multiple things. If it's rainy, to use it as a knee pad. If it's not, to use it as a trash bucket.
Yeah.
And how to put on a master link, how to use a chain brake. How many people out there have you seen, Brian, still doing chain with cutting off chain with a grinder?
I have never used a chain brake, and I know I've watched
Yeah,
you do it. And I always grab it with my fence pliers, and I grind that sucker off. And I honestly, what was that chain brake we got some chain brake somewhere, and remember it wouldn't even work or something. And
we did get a chain brake. People have to know. I mean, I can tell you where I've got my last couple automatic gate and equipment supply. They're not a sponsor. They're not anything, but they have a chain brake there. Whoever they buy it from, it's super reliable because of the pin, the way that the pin fits in there, and the design of it. But yeah, it wouldn't even. You're absolutely right. And I think I even brought that to your attention. I'm like, hey, Brian, you just paid for 2 of these, and they fucking.
I don't remember. I know. So that was how you were going to introduce chain brakes to me, and I'm watching you, and you're just like, "Oh no, this is definitely the way to do it. You should stop, put down your grinder." And I'm just like, "What? What are you?" And then, well, these are bad ones, okay? But normally.
Yeah, that's right, because that's before I think I moved out to Las Vegas. And then when I was out in Las Vegas, I had my own, and I think you just recently put out a video of me doing the chain brake in California when we taught in California, and I was doing the chain brake with it. I was like, all right, do you feel it? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? You hear it pop? That's it. Now you're through. Now do the other side. It's just so much easier to do that. And we all know that angle grinders, they're probably like OSHA's best friend to hunt us down with the way we use angle grinders. But it's just so much easier to do it with no sparks, no fuss, no muss. Just put it on there. It's just easy to do. So that's the type of stuff that I'll be helping teach. And that's what I want the students to look for. I can't tell you whether you'll get knowledge from that or not. I just want you to be on hunt down that golden nugget. So yeah, that's the stuff I'm looking forward to teaching, but I'll keep it, PG.
No, and I think everybody'd like a link to that. So when you get a chance, let's go back and drop a link to that chain brake that you did find. I know they're not a sponsor or anything, but if it's a quality chain brake and if we want to give that information, let's drop that in the comments later or something, or maybe Susan can help, so that when people are watching this, they can actually go and try to take a look at what. So what we're saying, chain brake. I guarantee there's people out there don't even understand what we're talking about on that. So we'll explain to them, and I'll drop a link maybe to that chain brake video in there too. I know Susan's listening. She's like, great. She goes, it's already like 9 o'clock at night here. So she goes, I would love
better
to research a chain brake right now, a video and a link.
Don't worry about it. Just put it in the notes, and I'll take care of all that stuff. But yeah, those are the golden nuggets. I can't tell you that's what you're going to find. So the last class I did here in Atlanta, I had Chuck McDonald, and I had a couple of guys, I think from Tennessee, that came down who had been installing it, and it was actually a lift master class that I was teaching. LA 400. Why don't you put the LA 500 in, and how to install a CSL and a CSW? And I was in a room full of people that knew those gate operators better than I did. So what I had them do was do stuff that they had never, ever done. And that was the golden nugget for those guys, even though they have been doing it longer than me and knew a lot more stuff about these particular gate operators. So it's your job to find that golden nugget. Yeah, that's a boo-boo one. Hey, take that down. Take that down. That offends my eyes. So anyway, so yeah, it's your job to find that golden nugget. Is it a chain brake? Is it how I do the box? Is it how I do the cart? I know guys that are just interested on how I have the truck set up. So it's your responsibility to find those. If you want to spend 10 grand and have a guy come out for the week and just train your guys on the stuff that they don't know, you can. Or you can come to Vegas, talk to all the manufacturers and talk to multiple people that install this and steal all of their ideas. It's just that much easier, and go out and have a beer after the
well,
expo.
in some of the major segments, because this is going to be a 2 full day. If you get there for the full throttle gate operator experience, it's the Monday, Tuesday, and then we've got some quick start versions of it going on Wednesday, Thursday, and then I think reaching into Friday a little bit. But the main, obviously, if you're really trying to learn about gate operators, the Monday, Tuesday before the expo, which is the 5th and the 6th, are the main days for that. It's going to be 2 full days, and some of the segments you're going to be teaching is going to be radio controls and programming, which is the basics of radio controls, why programming. You're going to be getting into why sometimes this programming intimidates the installers, common programming mistakes, receiver setups, remote troubleshooting. Let's face it, that is an issue sometimes. Troubleshooting those remotes when you're going to get phone calls. If you're doing gate operators, you're going to get these phone calls from a property owner or a manager or something saying, hey, our remotes aren't working, or 3 people's remotes aren't working. We're getting some residents complaining because remotes aren't working, and maybe it's because that receiver only allowed for 50 remotes to be programmed, and they kept reprogramming new ones in and kicking out the old ones or something, right? There's lots of stuff that can go wrong with programming a receiver, especially if it's programmable remotes and things. So frequency interference problems, a little bit about radio controls, that's for sure. Radio interference, range issues, because that comes into frequency interference problems and stuff too. And when do you go from 300 to 350 to 315 to 433 megahertz? There's times and places for all this when you may think you need 433, but you'd be better off in another frequency. And I think that's important for you to teach people, and there's no one better for that than you.
Yeah, because it costs so much money. It costs so much money to fix this. Dealt with that at the beginning of the year. The guy goes out there. One of the techs at the last company I was working for, tech went out there, and here's what, and I know this drives you up a wall. Here's what the office took down. So they're having radio issues. So the office takes down, so-and-so got a door king, gate operator, and having radio issues. So the first question is, well, what kind of receiver do they have?
It's a door king, they'll say, or it's a lift master. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, can we get a picture of it? So anyways, it happened to be a door king receiver, a door king gate operator with a lift master receiver, or vice versa. Yeah. And the guy goes out there with no relocation kit, no new receiver, and no remotes that have been tested. And we send him out there an hour away, and he's given suggestions before he even gets there. It's like he goes, it's a good likelihood it's your receiver. Just like, dude, you haven't seen it, you haven't touched it, none of that stuff. So yeah, that's a big deal with me, because it's such an easy fix to go to 433 or 900 megahertz. Or what's been really a good staple is the LiftMaster 850 LM, or there you go. Now you got it, Big Poppy. So anyways, to do that, all security equipment, they've got a good receiver out that's right now, it's $29, and good 3-button remotes for $14. So shameless plug. So they've got that right there. But anyways, yeah, it's so easy to do that, but it's so easy to have that cost you so much money. That right there could have made us $500, but it cost us $500. And you got a pissed off customer. In this day and age where somebody can go on and just complain about the smallest thing and make it the biggest deal, you got to be careful with those. You got to make sure that the techs are prepared before they go out there. So radio, if I could get involved in solar as well too, kind of been one of my passions, solar and batteries as well. I like to complain a bit about that. So yeah, if I could do that too, Veronica's watching. Put me on that.
Did you hear there? And I wish I would have looked this up prior, but it just, now that we're talking about receivers, it just kind of, stuff just pops into your head. So the 900 megahertz, that whole spectrum, that there's a company, it's Neva, something like that. It's like 4 letters with an E or an N, where they're working on trying to take over that entire spectrum right there, that whole range of 900 megahertz, which will wipe out a bunch of controls, radio controls and things for other devices. We're talking about for alarms, for security, for gate operators, all of that, if they get it. And then they're talking about maybe leasing some of that back out or something. But did you hear about that? You have to research it.
No, I haven't heard about that. Yeah, that takes out Surefire, that takes out Wireless Weekend, that takes out Transcore, that takes out Infinity RFID, and
Yep.
on and on and on. 900 megahertz, 890 to 912 or whatever it is just it's there. It is synonymous with access control as of right now.
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard that, and I have my. A lot of people don't know this because I talked about it in class most all the time because it's an easy way to get education for really cheap and get free license plates and other cool benefits. But I have my radio license, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that get real particular about that when big people come in and try to buy a whole range. So I'll
Yeah.
reach out to some of my friends and ask them about that. But yeah, I look forward to teaching
I,
that
I
because
wanted
that's
to jump.
cheap to fix.
I wanted to jump on the bandwagon and try to put our support for blocking that. They're trying to get a bill passed right now on that. I believe that's the stuff we should work on to protect our industry. So that's why. But that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, yeah. So I know I'm getting like Susan's telling me in the back. I wish other people could see her in the background. I try to block it out as much as I can, but she's like, "Hey, what's going on, you guys? Nobody wants to listen to you guys talk about radio controls." But
Nobody wants to see her in the background. You're good.
I know. So anyway, that's just one gate operator quick starts. You're gonna be doing that, and then photo eyes because I don't know too many people that know as much about photo eyes as you. When it comes into obviously your photo reflective, your through beam, and obviously there's the photo eye industry has changed a lot. We've got photo eyes out there that have 5-year, 8-year long batteries in them now. I mean, it's
optics. Yep.
Yep, it's a whole different ball game than it used to be. So you're going to be doing some of that stuff.
Good.
While we got you here, though, and hopefully this will be some golden wire nets that we can throw out here.
All right.
I'm going to try to make that golden wire net a thing, by the way. So but
it sounds kind of creepy, but I'm with it, man.
When has that stopped you?
Well, that's a good point. Well, or you, but I'll support you one way or the other.
I'm gonna get that 1 in the morning. I'm gonna get that 1 in the morning message. I got your golden wire nets right here.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, if Letty's listening, the next T-shirt order, can we get golden wire nut? Do you have a golden wire nut on the T-shirt? That'd be great.
She just texted me and said she wants me to tell you, calm down, bro.
Oh, okay. Calm down, bro. Yeah, she can calm down. Kiss my. Yeah, well, she was right. I use that one all the time now. Yeah, hey, man, just like everybody else, I get too big for my britches all the time. So got to get put in check.
She may be a little girl, but she'll check you quick.
Hey, she don't play, man. When you're in trouble, I've been hired, I've been fired, I've been yelled at by her, and I'm good with all of them. I don't need to hear that no more. So I'm sorry to bring your name up.
Let's give them something here. Let's do some golden wire nets here. What's the most common reason photo eyes fail?
Improper. I guess you would say it's twofold, but the not picking the right photo eye for the job. So if you're up north and you don't pick a photo eye with a heater, if you're in a dusty or dirty environment and you don't put a through beam photo eye like a IRB, EMX IRB Mon, or you pick a photo eye that doesn't have the right range, typically it's that. And in a through beam, it's the secondary side. The secondary side is always the problem because they run the wire through the track. They don't use the right wire. They run the wire through an expansion joint, and it just turns out to be a bad wiring problem. But those are the common things: wrong product for the wrong job, and then the wiring being crappy.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, it's not installed correctly, and actually nothing will make your operator fall apart quicker than a bad photo eye if it's not hooked up properly. So you can get that gate to move when you're leaving, but if it took you just barely moving the photo eye a little bit to get that thing to work, and all it's going to take is a wind blowing it a little bit, and that gate's going to get stuck open or something, you didn't install it correctly. You should be able to almost walk up and tap that photo eye and have that post shake and have that gate still operating. So yeah.
Well, that is the test. Yeah, you should be able to not just tap it. You should be able to walk it and pull on it, put some force on it. I think that LiftMaster and EMX probably got the two best designs for that because they got the set screws in them. And there's some other good products out there. Optex is just killing it with their their through beam one because it's got a long battery on the other side. Robert just told me he put one. DJ Everts he puts those in. All he puts in. He said he replaced the batteries for the first time in like 6 years of those gate operators. So poor installation and the product, the wrong product for the job, the requirements.
Okay, we got it. I know Susan wants me to get these rapid fire questions out to you, Brooks. So
okay, I'll rapid fire
we're gonna throw
answer.
them. We're gonna do these rapid. I know my internet might be going in and out. I don't know what that is, but we're gonna do these rapid fire questions. Tech support nightmare. Rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Okay, God, yeah, go. I'm just trying to keep
the first
it
thing that
PG.
pops into your head. Don't be Googling it on your phone or nothing like that or whatever you're doing. Okay, it's are you ready? You ready? Okay.
Yeah,
question number 1: LiftMaster or Nice?
LiftMaster.
Okay. Hardwired or wireless?
Hardwired guaranteed.
Oh.
Am I losing you or I said
I don't know,
hardwired guaranteed.
Okay. Worst weather to troubleshoot in?
Man, it's just got to be rain. But that Las Vegas heat was no joke, man. Did you lose me, Susan?
Why did I do that? Rapid.
Susan, am I getting lost or is Brian getting lost?
It's Brian.
Oh, okay. So
the next question: one tool you can't live without.
What? Go ahead. What was the next question?
One tool you can't live without.
Multimeter.
Most annoying tech support calls.
For me, is my solar panel is underneath the tree. Why won't my gate operator work? Were y'all saying something in the background? See, that's one of the reasons why I left Las Vegas, because y'all was always ganging up on me. Were y'all laughing about me in the background? All right, come on now.
Dude, we never stopped.
That's a good point. You're gonna get nunchucks the next time I see you.
Okay, what's your favorite gas station snack?
Damn. Snicker bar, the king size. I don't mess with anything other than king size Snicker. King size Snicker bar.
You know what? You've been a good sport, Brooks. You've been a good sport like always. What are you jogging? How come you're walking instead of jogging, man?
Oh, I'm not jogging. Oh, Susan, we still see you. Yes, we'll wrap it up. Yeah, thank you for letting me be on here, and I'm glad to be a good sport. And next time I'll be in the studio.
All right. You guys, everybody that's listening, as you can see, this isn't going to be a sit down and fall asleep education. This is real world stuff you can take back Monday mornings to wherever you're working, or maybe it's you not working for somebody, you're working for yourself. So what's the call to action here, Susan? What do we want people to do? There's always a call to action to everything in our lives.
You want to go to finshow.com and register today. Full throttle passes are $150 until June 1st. Showroom floor passes are free until June 1st. Prices increased on June 1st and then on September 1st again. So get your passes now.
That's it, everybody. Go full throttle with us. We need you there. The industry needs you there. Brooks,
there you go.
We'll be talking to you soon.
Now go sell some gates.
Go sell some operators for you.
There you go.
See you guys.